So it's the end of another work week. It is today the 20th, I believe, the 20th of October 2023. Yeah, we are only 11 days remaining in October, guys. It's going by fast. But hey, that's what work does, seasonal or not, and pray this becomes more than just seasonal for me because it would be beneficial, and also pray that not only does it become more than seasonal, basically permanent, but pray it becomes a daytime permanation, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's quite a week. In fact, it was more of something that actually I think pretty much I was hired to do, and that's trailer stripping. I mean, there was not one time that I know of throughout the week that we had less trailers than you can imagine, because we had trailers coming out of the wazoo, and that was mostly due, according to people I talked to. That was mostly due to the potential, and you can even overhear some of the supervisors, seasonal supervisors, whatever, talking about it during break outside in the smoking area. I only go out there to enjoy the fresh air and just sit down and enjoy the fresh air and basically look at my phone, see what's going on, as well as eat whatever I brought with me, snack-wise and all that. But you can even overhear them kind of mentioning that the reason we're getting, I guess you could say, hit in certain areas at the warehouse is mostly due to the fact that, we had the Amazon days, we had the Prime days, if you will, recently. And a lot of people that got those stuff are now returning them because either it's not what they wanted, or it came to them and it was in pieces, it was broken, either it was malfunctioned, or maybe, and this does happen, somebody, a certain young individual, boy or girl, teen or preteen, whatever you want to call them, got a hold of somebody's cards, if you know what I mean, the credit cards, bank cards, whatever, and spent some money they weren't supposed to, and thus the stuff they got returned, by the parents because, hey, you didn't ask for our permission to get that stuff, and use our money to do so. So yeah, that's probably what happened as well, because some of the stuff that got returned, that we were taking out of the trailers that we were stripping, seemed to be still in good condition. In fact, they were still in the boxes like they'd never been opened. So my assumption is some young kids, adolescents, preteens, whatever you want to call it, tried to sneak behind their parents' back, and basically the parents caught them, and, well, pretty much whatever they tried to get for themselves through the Prime days got returned. But anyway, outside of that, it was mainly a week of trailer stripping. I mean, yeah, they did have us go and, do some shipping at times, there's no doubt, and even some tote making. I think it was on Wednesday. They had us doing some totes and everything. After everything was said and done, because we had trailers that we had to strip, but then afterwards it's like, okay, you guys are done with the trailer stripping, so guess what you're going to do after lunch? You're going to report back to your trailer stripping area, see what's left there to do, as well as finish up what you have to do, and then you're going to get moved over to totes. You're going to get moved over to box making, and that's what we did. Myself and a few others got moved over to there because, hey, we were pretty much done. There was no trucks coming in just yet. Then I think it was on Thursday or Tuesday. I think it was Thursday. I think it was yesterday, or whenever you watch this, Thursday. Basically, I was told to cross punch. We call it cross punch over to shipping. Basically, for the rest of my shift on, I think it was Thursday or Tuesday, one of those days. It was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday because I can't remember. Right? It was during the week. It was either Tuesday or Tuesday or Thursday, one of these days. But I was told to cross punch over, because what they would have us do instead of cross punch is they would have us, basically keep an eye on the red lights and everything. So that's what we would do. Either they were flashing or solid, because you don't want to have those lights blinking or solid, because that means blinking wise you have a jam. So you got to unjam it. And you get this long pole, and I've mentioned this before, that you stick up there and you try to, unjam the top. And if not, somebody else has got to go across the catwalk there and unjam it. Also with the red lights, you don't want that, because that means pretty much the whole conveyor belt is jammed up with stuff. But what's interesting is sometimes the conveyor belt is not totally jammed up. It's not like from top to bottom jammed up. Sometimes it's some of the boxes that causes the jams to occur. Yeah. It's sometimes the big boxes or the small boxes that cause the jams to occur, because some of that stuff will come down not in a straight line, but almost like in mass. So by coming out in mass, not in a straight line, it'll cause a bit of a jam even on the upper region. So what you need to do is get like a little pole, a miniature little pole that we have, poke the area if you could reach it, or get one of the longer poles, poke the area if you could reach it, and hopefully loosen it up. Now sometimes it's within, it's within arm's length, if you will, it's within arm's length, so you could just reach over and very carefully, basically loosen it up. And when you do so, it will not only will it allow it to move forward, but it'll also allow even the stuff that's kind of stuck up there in the upper part of the conveyor belt to come on down, and that will allow the red light to go off. Now yes, you do have to sometimes, if not most times, take the boxes off the conveyor belt and stack them onto each other or side by side with each other when you're building a wall to basically, unjam the line. So you still got to do that as well. So they would have us throughout the week, myself and others, for at least 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at most, but mostly 15 to 20 minutes, go back and forth and check the red lights, and then we could go back to, to trailer stripping, and that was it. Go back to trailer stripping, and that was it. So we would go back and forth. It was I think it was on Wednesday. I'm not really sure. I think it was Wednesday or Tuesday. They trained me to do another thing. In fact, no, it was Wednesday, because I remember I was told yesterday, hey, we don't need you to do that today because we got that covered. It was on Wednesday, and I think this was also the day, now that I'm thinking about it, this was also the day they had me cross punch over to end the rest of my shift in shipping. Because I think it was Tuesday we did totes. No, wait a minute. No, I'm getting confused again. Was it Tuesday? Or was it? No, actually it was Wednesday we did totes. Wednesday we did totes. Thursday, I think I cross punched. Yeah, it was it was yesterday. It was Thursday, or whenever you hear this, that and I'm tired. You can definitely hear it in my voice. That I cross punched in the rest of my shift over in shipping. But anyway, on Wednesday, along with going to do totes after we did our trucks, our trailer, stripping of them. It was throughout that I was also being trained to do something else, because one of the conveyor belts, one of the shipping conveyor belts we have, and I've mentioned this before, is known as Trailer 172, Dock 172, if you want to look at it that way. And this trailer is mostly for miscellaneous items that go to a variety of stores, or it's mainly known for the holiday items, the Black Friday items. So I'm asked to help out there. And the way I'm asked to help out is to unjam some of the stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, I've got the long pole and everything, right? No, it's not just that. I'm told, hey, you're going to go on the catwalk, which is, I'm 5'8". I'm 5'8", if you will. So the catwalk is like another 5 feet, I would say 5 feet above me, if you will, almost another 5 feet. It's like the catwalk's basically when you're walking on it and you're looking down, that's like a 10 foot drop. almost a 10-foot drop. So anyway, I go up onto the catwalk and everything, and I'm being trained on how to use the poles, because we got the little hook poles there, to unjam in those certain areas. So I'm told to stay in that one area, because I think over time, depending on how much longer I'm there, and again, pray that I'm there permanently and it's during the daytime, because that's more beneficial. But I'm basically told to unjam some of the stuff, because some of the boxes will not, go down. They will get stuck. And it's not just for the conveyor line going to dock trailer 172. It's also for all of them. They will get stuck. And again, it's the boxes. It's the way the boxes, come down. Now, sometimes when those boxes get launched into their area, once they get launched into the area, because what's it called? The photosynthesizer, or whatever it's called, basically, reads, or kind of scans the barcodes that's on there to kind of make sure it goes to the right conveyor belt, right? Anyway, some of these things come down like, you wouldn't believe. So, so just when you think you can't, unjam something, all of a sudden, just as you're unjamming it, and you're getting ready to do it again, that's when a big box will come out of nowhere, zoom, and push it right down. You'll be like, oh, good, that works. That works too. But what's interesting though is there was a coworker. I'm not gonna name anybody. But there are, and this is for any job. But what's funny is I'm told by my supervisors and everything, to help out, right? To help, in that area. And this one person, and I'd probably be the same way. This one person says they don't need my help. And I'm told by some people, I'm not going to say what, but I'm told by some people that, they're like that, and that they're not the only ones, and they too would, be the same way, because they feel, hey, we can handle this on our own. We don't need the backup. We're cool. And in a way, I can respect that. But anyway, basically on Wednesday, like I said, getting back to it, that was one of the areas I was trained in, to walk the catwalk and all that, because of the fact that, I've seen people go up there, those that have been there for years, doing it, as well as the supervisors. And I've also seen some of the new people that got hired along with me, or afterwards or before, going up there and doing it. Because, again, there are certain times to where the boxes will get stuck, and you can't even reach it very well with the long extension pole that you might have, access to. So somebody else has got to be up there to get them. Because if you don't get them, you're going to have a red blinking light. So that's what I did on Wednesday, then along with doing totes and all that. And then I think, like I said, yesterday, I did trailer stripping, and then for the rest of my shift, I was told to cross punch, go over and do shipping, basically, load the trucks up and everything, as best I can for the rest of my shift, and that's what I did. But yeah, this week was really a week of, things picking up, in the areas that, I'm being trained, I was hired to be in, and all that. It's just one of those times of years where hey, you're going to get a decent check after this. There's no doubt. You're going to get a decent check. And I could see that already. I mean, honestly, it's one of those situations to where, you think a certain moment might happen, but it doesn't. And guess what? It almost did. But I'm not going to say any more than that, because today something came up, but then it got taken care of and everything, and that was about it. So I didn't have to worry about clocking out early or anything. And it was done because of certain reasons. It was done because of the fact that, well, they were going to, it was just done. I'll just put it this way. It was done in a way to where once it got resolved, we were all cool. And that's all I'm going to say. Everything was good. Um, but what's funny is today again today, Friday, yesterday, whenever you listen to hear this, um, our first shift manager, first shift supervisor, one of them, he calls us all together for another meeting, and this is after lunch. Is it after lunch or is it after? It's after break. No. It's not after break. It's no. It's after first break. That's what it is. After first break. So he calls us all together for a little meeting. And again, and I've mentioned this before, but this is the second time he's done this. And just like the first time he did it about a week or two ago, a lot of people had a look on their face like, ooh, what could this mean? Could this mean VTO? You could just see the look on their faces like, oh, is he going to say we got VTO? We're going to have VTO? We can do VTO? Nope. What he said instead was because we were increasing in volume in certain areas, that starting on Monday, he was going to offer VTI. And that's for everybody. Everybody. And VTI basically means either one of two things. You come in early, which is about 4 a.m., and you work to the time you're scheduled to be off. Or you come in at your regular time, and you stay maybe till, let's say, 4 or 3. One of those two. But mostly it's for coming in early. But yeah, that's what he said. That was basically about it. And everybody's like, oh, okay, no problem. Now, you could tell that some were disappointed, like, oh, it wasn't VTO, it was the opposite. But also, you could tell that some that were disappointed looked at the bright side of, it's a little bit more money, in our pocket. Especially with the fact that starting not next week, but the week after, we're going to have an increase, in payment. And now this is something that obviously a lot of other companies do. There's no doubt. And I've been part of several other companies that have done this. But the increase basically is for the holidays. The catch is you have to be at work, and work your whole schedule, unless noted. And the other thing that's part of the catch is not only do you have to be at work and work your whole shift unless noted, your whole 8.5 hour shift unless noted, but you cannot be you cannot be 61 minutes late. Like, you can be an hour late and still be okay. You still get the 18, but you can't be a minute later than that. And that's a fact. You can't be a minute later than that, because if you are, well, let's just put it this way, you're not going to be eligible to get the additional $2. Yeah. So whatever you get paid regularly, you increase it by $2. Like, for me, I got like $16.50. So you're looking at 18. My sister, probably, obviously been there longer. She gets more than that. I'm not going to say, but yeah, $2 more to it. That's good. And on a weekly paycheck, that's great. That's even great. But the point is, getting back to what I was saying, you can kind of tell people were disappointed it wasn't, him saying something about VTO today or next week or whatever, but instead it was the opposite. But again, you can tell that they kind of like were a little disappointed, but also like, hey, this might be a good thing because, we get a little bit more extra money for an additional 2 hours, more that we come in for or stay for. Now, what's interesting is, will they offer the VTI when the temporary increase happens? I would assume so. So that's going to be a big deal for anybody that does that as well. But yeah, like I said, a week to where things kind of went back into the status quo, if you will. Heck, even when we had our but again, it isn't without its it isn't without its times and changes and all that. I mean, or even moments. Like a couple of days ago, we got an earthquake. We had an earthquake in the Antioch region, and for some odd reason, and even the news reported this, everybody got an alert on it. And usually, when you get an alert of an earthquake here, it's usually because it's going to hit your region. I remember several months ago, this before I started working, I'm just sitting in my chair in my room, and all of a sudden I get the alert, and next thing I know, boom, boom, I hear this I feel this big old jolt, and I'm like, whoa, because I knew right there it was an earthquake. It was an earthquake that jolted me. And for some reason, we got the alert though for something that took place 50-something miles away. And it freaked one of my fellow trailer stripping associates out a little bit because she wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen. So she had to be given the okay, like, hey, don't worry, everything's good. You don't have to worry. But yeah, it's one of those kind of days. And then yesterday we had agenda notes, which is basically a team meeting, an end of the day team meeting where they went over stuff they usually would go over with us in the morning, but with more detail and more information on stuff. And basically when the HR person was, taking their turn to talk about some of the things coming up, they ran out of time and just said, hey, check the screens all across the warehouse. You'll get the information there as well. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was one of those weeks where things were getting back to the status quo, especially depending on where you were and everything, department-wise. And, and mainly it was due, like for me, in trailer stripping and across from the Amazon return area, because we're basically in the same section, it's all thanks to Prime Days. People returning stuff because either got delivered to them broken, it was the wrong item, or again, as I mentioned, some young individual went behind their back and said, ooh, I'm going to take mom and dad's card and do this. And then they got caught. So, that's probably what happened. So that's probably what also equivalated to what we had to do. And I'm going to tell you honestly, for those of you that know what trailer stripping is, and if not, I'll tell you this right now. For those of you that know what trailer stripping is and warehousing, you know that sometimes those trailers can be easy peasies. Everything's palletized. All you have to do is take them out, put them in the sections they have to go in, and there you go. Sometimes, you'll have stuff scattered about, but not much. And you'll just have to use a few pallets to put it up because the rest of the stuff is already palletized. Or sometimes you can walk in there and you can see a nightmare. And there have been several times throughout this week that, it wasn't always the trailer I would work in because, I usually would get good trailers. Today I got a trailer. The first trailer I got was like, oh, it looks easy and everything. Just pick up a few items, that's it. Oh, there's a cardboard blocking the other one. I wonder what's behind there. Remove the cardboard. Oh, I got to put stuff on pallets. Wasn't too bad though. I got it done and everything. I got some help too on that, but it was one of those situations where it's like, it looks easy. Oh, looks can be deceiving because look what's behind the damn cardboard thing, or the cardboard wall, if you will. But yeah, it was one of those kind of situations to where even after me and my partner got done with that, we got assigned to different partners, and I got assigned to go help this one guy, and he had a freaking his trailer that he was working on was all just blah. It's like everything was just, it's like in the back you could tell there was stuff that was pallet and everything, but everything else was just like blah. It was just blah. And everything, it was just like, you open the door, everything is just scattered about, everything's just like, like running down. It's like you have to build your first pallet on the outside before proceeding in. That's how messy and convoluted these pallets can get sometimes. How messy and disorganized, I should say. But overall, overall, no, overall, like I said, it's, it's been one of those weeks where I think we've gotten back to the status quo, if you will. It really has. But anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to come on here, give you a bit of an audio vlog, let you know what's happening and stuff. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Live chat during a premiere, if you will. And let me know if you guys have, let me know if you guys have ever, done any of these kind of jobs and all that when it comes to working. Let me know down below. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. God bless. Take care. And I'm out.